On behalf of Upward, we extend a warm welcome, and Renee, the floor is all yours. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Candace. Wow, I didn't know you were going to include all of that. I really appreciate that. And good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I know that working on LinkedIn isn't necessarily your top priority for your job, but I know that it can enhance your job and your career in so many ways. I have to admit that I dabbled in LinkedIn for some time, kind of hung out in the background, really didn't know how to leverage it for my own personal brand. And over the past few years, I've just been able to invest a tiny bit of time, maybe 15, 20 minutes a day, and reaped incredible rewards. And really, you heard Candace talk about the fact that I ran my own consulting agency for quite some time. True story. During the middle of the pandemic, I was sitting in my yoga pants, watching 90 Day Fiance, hanging out on the weekend, and got a LinkedIn direct message from the CEO of AMF Media Group, part of Armanino here. And this is someone I had known for 20 years, but hadn't heard from in years. And he said, Renee, I love your posts. I love what you're doing on LinkedIn. How are things going? And I told him, we're doing well, all things considered during the pandemic. And he said, why are we not working together? We should be merging our companies. And for the first time ever, I looked at my phone and said, let's talk. And that was the beginning of a merger that happened a little over a year ago, so that I could take all the amazing skills and talents of my team and our consultants to a bigger audience. And that wouldn't have happened if I wasn't visible on LinkedIn, instead of sitting at home in my yoga pants, which was the reality. So I hope you can go on this journey with me, because we're going to cover quite a bit in a short amount of time. But I really hope that whether you are brand new to LinkedIn or if you are an advanced user, you're going to get something from this presentation. Okay, so here we know we're overwhelmed, regardless of what industry you are working in. There are so many things that you have to learn. I get it. There are new apps, new platforms, things are changing all the time. Why the heck do I have to learn one more? Basically, LinkedIn is your storefront to the world, right? Your personal storefront, not just your job, you personally as a brand. So I believe that it cuts through all this clutter, and regardless of the other platforms you need to use for your job, LinkedIn is a way for you to stay visible to the entire business world. And this is where I started. Here I am speaking to you about personal brand, but I will tell you that I am deep down inside an introverted, completely insecure Asian girl who wants to sit in the back of the class and keep quiet. Where did that come from? That came from the fact that my parents are Japanese American, third generation. And when they were toddlers, they were sent to internment camps on the West Coast. And for 3 years were imprisoned. And when their families got out of this internment camp after World War II, their parents, my grandparents, said, forget all your Japanese, you're American citizens, you need to keep quiet, keep your head down, work hard, right? And don't stand out. And you can understand why that was the message they got. And that was the message my parents transferred to me and my siblings, right? I literally spent half my career trying to be invisible, not using my voice, not finding a way to express how I really felt. And I've been working on it ever since. So if you are an introvert, or if you're not really comfortable doing what I'm doing today, this is where I started, right? Family dynamics clearly and culture played a part of shaping who I am. I can look back at that and understand where that came from, but also use it as fuel to find my courage to speak out more, not just about myself or my firm, but also things that I believe are important to me. Like we just came out of the Asian American Pacific Islander month last month, right? So I was posting about that. There are all kinds of things that happen in your life, where you went to school, where you traveled, your work experience, adversity, all of these things, especially the adversity, some things we try to hide because we think, that's not the best look, right? But really, truly, those are the kinds of things that can make you stand out. Overcoming adversity is huge, right? It can be a huge way to make yourself memorable. Okay, so just a few ideas here. Some of the kinds of things that we don't associate with our job every day can also enhance your brand on LinkedIn. And we'll get into this a little more. So you saw I was a soccer player wearing my little wire rimmed granny glasses. Okay, I'm a huge Ted Lasso fan, so we're gonna see some inspiration throughout from Ted Lasso. But the bottom line is you get to control your brand. Whether you realize it or not, even when I was the shy, quiet Asian girl sitting in the back of the class or sitting in a company not speaking up, that was my brand. Whether I liked it or not, I was showing a brand. And if I didn't like that, if I didn't want people to think of me that way, I need to work on it. I need to craft it. What do we do during a pandemic where we aren't out in person, shaking hands, showing up and smiling and feeling that warm handshake or that embrace or having lunch with clients and colleagues, right? LinkedIn is a way to bridge that gap in so many ways. You can also think about building your brand as part of your professional development. And if you go to your manager and say, this is something that I really want to work on, I'm going to, with great intention, start doing more with LinkedIn, they can only admire you for wanting to do that, for boosting your brand as well as the brand of the company. So we're going to give you some specifics on how you can do that. Okay, why LinkedIn? Why is this the singular platform that I think you should be embracing and investing in? It's because, like I said, people want to work with people they like. And if you don't show yourself, if you're hiding in the shadows like I did for most of my life, right? People don't have the opportunity to meet the real René, find the connection. And that's how, we talk about networking, right? It's more than networking, right? It's those opportunities like my business merger, right? It's the clients that I meet. It's the colleagues that I have who are across the country, and the kind of relationship I have with them. The other reason is because outside of your firm or the people in your physical location, you want to find a like-minded tribe of people who believe what you believe, who are interested in the technology or the science or the world events that you're interested in, right? This is how you can also become a role model and leader and share what you know. Resumes have been around since, I don't know, 1800s. It's like ridiculously crusty, right? What I love about LinkedIn is that instead of just looking backward at your history, LinkedIn allows you to tell your story, change it as often as you want. It is a living, breathing platform. And the key here is it's aspirational. Maybe you have a passion for climate change and getting involved. Maybe you have a passion for getting involved in women's leadership, right? Things that may or may not be part of your current role. This is a perfect platform where you can talk about those. Put it out there on LinkedIn and again, attract those like-minded peeps in your world. And then here's the beautiful part, right? We all love Pixar. We all love storytelling. We root for those characters that are dealing with adversity, going through trials and tribulations, right? Stories are what people remember, not facts and figures.